Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Chatbox Vail, your mental health podcast for the community here in Eagle County. We come to you from High Five Access Media, our new home, and we are so happy to be here. I think this is like our 12th episode already.
Oh my gosh, that's
being
amazing.
here. I know. And well, Jen Saito, Liz Farron, and we have a super duper special guest. This is Joe Tomasic. And Joe is going to be talking a little bit about Reconnected Foundation as well as Speak Up, Reach Out, also sharing some personal journeys with us. This is why we decided to bring you on today. First of all, the holidays, the gloom, the weather, the depression, the atmosphere, the way our country is going to heck in a handbasket, the humanity of it all of it is taking its toll on everybody. And I have definitely found myself, really on edge, very much so. But the truth is that there are people that have newfound anxiety and depression. And then there are people who have had it their whole lives.
Right.
And if you have been traumatized, it's usually you're a lifer. And I'm a lifer.
Sure.
I think you actually learned about trauma at a later time in life, which is beautiful. I'm so happy for you. You have no idea. It makes my day to know that you had a happy, wonderful, beautiful childhood, I mean, not everybody gets to say that anymore or ever. But and what about you? Are you a lifer or a late bloomer?
No, I think it started relatively early.
Yeah. Oh, well, welcome to the club. And I have to say that usually you go through life when you're one of those people that has had, your battles with mental health throughout most of the years of your existence. You'll try lots of different things, and there's so many different ways. And we have brought on a lot of different types of people that help and give to our community. But we really like to talk to people that are in it, because how else is anybody else going to relate? And we like to be relatable. We like to just to get to know everybody. And I want to just say thank you for coming on today, first of all.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we are excited to have you. And we know that you have big stories for us, which is something that we all have.
Sure.
But sharing is so important. I always feel like when you don't talk about things and they stay stifled in, you kind of just rely on that feeling always, and it's the way you behave. It's always right there on the frontal side, and you're just constantly battling it because it's there, right there, in your face. So do us a favor. First of all, hi.
Hello.
And we're really happy to have you here. Nice to meet you. Have you ever met Joe?
No,
Me
this is my
either.
first time.
How long have you been in the Valley?
34 years.
Where have you been hiding?
I haven't, actually.
No?
Relatively well known in the outdoor recreation world.
Oh, that's why I don't know you. I do indoor recreation.
I started off years ago as Lakota Joe.
Oh, cool.
For Lakota Guides?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I do know about that. I have been on those. I love those, the raft trips.
Yes.
Love it.
Okay, so that's how you're kind of known.
Yes, and then I moved into Sage Outdoor Adventures.
Oh, Sage, okay. I know who they are too. And I think they changed locations where they pick you up. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
one right up here on Metcalf.
No, that's Lakota.
Oh, that's Lakota. See?
Yeah.
I know my stuff.
Yeah.
And so what do you do now?
Well, primarily working with Reconnected.
Nice. And tell us a little, have you heard of Reconnected Foundation?
Yes, absolutely. I think
Yeah.
it's a great program, and
Great.
I've attended some of your events, and I
Oh,
think
nice.
I think it's much needed in this valley, especially in everywhere.
Hypercritical. It's a
Absolutely.
great thing.
Well, oddly enough, I thought I knew everything, and I have not heard of them. I know about Speak Up, Reach Out, of course.
Sure.
So why don't you share a little bit? You and Jen can talk about the Reconnected Foundation.
Right. Reconnected is a sober community, basically.
What's that mean?
Everything we do is, based around sobriety. And
Oh, it's sober. I
Sober.
thought you said silver. I'm like, is it only for old people?
that's our mid-level
The
package.
silver community.
And so
That was funny. I just got that. Okay, so you're sober. Oh, this is lovely. I didn't
Yeah.
know. See, I don't
Yeah.
know. Okay, go ahead.
so everything we do is sober activities, events.
Nice.
And we have things going on almost every day. Last night we had an all recovery meeting. Right now, or about 6:00 tonight, we do yoga at the lodge at Vail, which is free.
Wow.
Everybody there's in recovery, or not everybody that attends our events have a substance use issue. They just want a safe and friendly place to go.
And what's wrong with that? And it doesn't mean that they didn't have issues in the past, and
Right.
sometimes they feel connected with people
Yeah.
that are maybe a little bit more vulnerable
Right.
or susceptible to
Yeah.
ideals that they don't want to go near.
Yeah, I mean, AA is like a great program, to get sober, but they don't offer activities.
Exactly.
Right?
Okay, so that's just like the meetings.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
just
Reconnected
meetings.
is sort of, is it like,
We do meetings. We do have like a recovery meeting that feels sort of AA-ish.
AA-ish? That's
And
my
then-
bra size, by
but
the way.
Our main focus is like getting outside, being active, functional movement.
Nice.
We also do an eating disorder meeting tomorrow night.
Wow.
On Thursday we have a ski workout conditioning class. We
I
have
wanna join
healthy,
that. That's
Oh my
healthy
gosh.
happy hour. We do a healthy happy hour every Thursday.
Is that food?
No, it's usually physical. I mean, we'll skin up Beaver Creek Mountain and ski down.
Sounds fun though, but
or
exhausting.
we do like an art-based happy
All right,
hour
there you
as
go.
well.
Which I love.
Yeah, so
I
some
think it's
non-physical
super
stuff.
important because, when you think of connecting and meeting people, especially, young people, everything always evolves around alcohol and going out to bars. And
Right.
so having a space where you can go out, you don't have to get drunk or, be
Somebody
outside
else
of
anyway,
yourself.
yeah.
Exactly. And so I think it's super important that that these events exist and that, they're getting the attention. Because
I'm
I'd never
stoked
heard of
about it.
until probably like maybe 6 or 7 months ago. And I'm like, oh
Wow.
my gosh, like, where's this been?
But you know what
Yeah.
I like about it the most is that everybody is going through the same issue, whether it's drug related or alcohol related or eating related,
Social anxiety, whatever,
All of it.
depression, grief.
all of it. So my point is that, you know how they always joke around and say motion is lotion?
Yeah.
Well, it's also emotion to me. Motion is emotion. When you get out amongst your peers and people that are struggling a little bit or getting through it or done with it and still trying to live a sober life, what better way to do it than with fun activities instead of just sitting there in a circle and hi.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding. I know that's an important thing too. But this just gives me a whole new different perspective on a great way for people to get involved and maybe give themselves a better life looking forward.
Right, and recovery, there's a mental component to it, but we find that like the physical component is hypercritical to a good recovery, right?
Wow.
Lots of people get sober and then, well, now what?
Yeah.
What do I
Yeah.
do? Like you've got to maintain the body and get in shape and do things and stay active and
Yeah, because when you're
occupy your
when
time.
you're in the midst and the throes of escaping, we'll say,
Yeah.
you're not really doing great things for yourself at that time. You know
Right.
what I mean? When you quit certain drugs, you get fat because you haven't been paying attention to your body.
Mm-hmm.
And then other things too, like with alcohol, you can like lose a bunch of weight for quitting because of all the sugar that all of a sudden has dissipated from your body. And then when you have the mental health issues, which take a toll on all of your organs and all of your inside stuff. It's just, it's so amazing that you guys do something like this. So you do something year round, like maybe rock climbing in the summer and snowshoeing in the winter.
Horse-related activities.
Oh, horses.
Anything that we'll do one-offs. We went rafting. We go hiking. We do all kinds of stuff like
Wow.
that. So yeah, there's always stuff going on. Every,
I love this.
and all of it's free.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you don't. Our activities, we get private donations and some funding, and so everything
Okay.
that we're putting on is free.
That is so beautiful. Tell us more. I want to hear a little bit more about it because this is like fast. I mean, you said you've learned about it about 6 months ago. Have you participated in anything yet with them?
Yeah, absolutely.
You have?
Yeah, I've painted birdhouses.
Okay, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, you
we do
dork. I
pickleball
love
in the
that.
summertime.
Pickleball is awesome.
Yeah.
I've been to a lot of the pickleball
Yeah, we
nights
had
on Thursdays.
Picklepalooza.
Yeah.
Pickleball is fun.
Yeah, we get some of the some of the recovery, like All Points North will bring
Wow.
their patients down
Yeah.
to us and participate in some of the activities.
That's
and some of
beautiful.
the IOP programs for recovery will bring their people in.
But I mean,
It's-
doesn't that just boost dopamine and everything for these
Yeah.
people? Like they okay, you've recovered from your abusive self, but then there's still the stuff that caused you to create yourself in that scenario.
Yeah.
So there's that to deal with.
Yes.
So on top of all of this physical activity, there's a lot of conversations and things like that where people can heal by
Yes.
discussions.
Yeah, I mean that's in the addiction world, it's good to know that you're not alone.
Yeah.
There's other people going through the same thing. You're not weird. This happens.
I think it's weird when
It
somebody
happens
tells me
to
they've never done a
everybody.
drug.
Right.
I do. I'm always like,
Exactly.
you've never tried pot?
Yeah,
I'm serious.
And people, there's this humongous stigma, obviously, around, addiction, and it's it took me a long time to do something like this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like this is not, people. I think there's a lot of people out there that didn't realize that maybe they were like, that guy drinks a lot. That guy
Yeah.
is a mess, right? But it affects us all differently, and everybody's rock bottom is slightly different. And the way the face of addiction is this. It could be
It's
anybody.
this.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's just
A different addiction, but yes.
yeah. I mean, so it's important for everybody, especially guys. Guys, I think just don't share. Right? They don't come out.
telling
said
you.
that.
So for me I do this as uncomfortable as it might be.
Yeah.
We say we recover loudly so others don't die silently.
Oh my God.
so-
Oh, you just
Absolutely.
goosed out my whole body.
No, I think that's a great point that you bring
Yeah.
up. I think
Wow.
that for men typically they're
Yeah.
not celebrated for them to do self-care or to express their
Right.
emotions or
Rocky
to talk.
Sanchez is the
Drinking
only
is
other
our-
guy we've had open their heart here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I think it's super important to do this more often and to
Sure.
bring and celebrate the male opinion and the male emotion
Yeah.
and what men are going through.
And I host two specifically for men groups.
You do.
You know,
This is where
one-
I found you.
Oh, right. Yeah, so one is through Reconnected and the other's through Speak Up, Reach Out.
Okay, I don't know where I don't know what it was, but I saw that you were doing men's groups for.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to know this person,
Yeah.
and that's how I just decided to reach out to you.
Yeah.
And
I'm
How
not
are
sure.
these
I don't.
connected?
What's that?
How are they connected? Are they connected?
Well, I guess, I started working with Speak Up, Reach Out a few years ago, and through their peer support program. And that's what got me into Reconnected. So I don't even think Reconnected existed when I started working with Speak Up, Reach Out.
so they must be fairly new, like 10 years or something.
No, you're in 2.5 years.
Oh my gosh, no wonder I haven't heard of them.
Yeah.
I don't drink or anything anymore. I'm so like ridiculous. You know what I'm addicted to now whenever I get totally blasted out of my brain from trauma or whatever? Sugar.
Yeah, sugar. Yeah.
Yeah,
makes
I think I've
sense.
turned myself into a
Yeah,
diabetic.
I go to the gym.
See,
I'll have a 3-hour gym session.
Hello, Mr. Positivity. I get depressed to go. I'm going for the $100,000 bar. Bingo. And I can't do that anymore. So
Right.
I just replaced because when you're younger, you usually self-medicate.
Yeah.
Which is fun, but you got to stop eventually.
Yeah.
But I have just been, and I mean, it doesn't, I did not gain weight, but I've gained health issues for sure because I
Sure.
cannot. It's it's this thing that when you put it in your mouth, it's almost like chasing a dragon with candy.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
need more. You're gonna get that first dopamine feeling again, that rush. Nope, but you're gonna get a lot of sugar in your system.
That's right. Yeah, we feed our addiction somehow. Right?
Yeah,
Or
we really
we
do.
compensate somehow. And
I
it's
know.
it's important to get those healthy coping mechanisms for
Well,
sure.
I want to get into how you cope healthily, but
Okay.
I would love to get to know you a little bit
Sure.
and if you don't mind, take us on your journey a little bit. And why did you choose mental health as not only, I would say, a career, but it's your way of giving back?
Yeah. very, I mean, it was not planned, I'll tell you that.
Okay.
So I've been here for 34 years,
Right.
and primarily, in the outdoor recreation business. I came from the East Coast and moved out here pretty young,
too.
and got really good at kayaking and riding horses and doing all
Nice.
this fun stuff, and got into the river industry as a safety boater and rescue and things of
Wow,
that nature,
okay.
and just really fell in love with it. And It's a drinking sport. You
Oh, it
know,
is? Wait, rafting?
Not during kayaking,
Really?
but after.
Oh.
Yeah. So I mean, you would push the envelope, and when I say I got into kayaking, I mean it was paddling with some of the best boaters in the world. You know,
Nice.
so we were pushing the envelope constantly, and you go big, and your adrenaline level's so high, and you have to decompress somehow, and that was usually with alcohol
Or celebrate your
drugs
feat,
or whatever.
because
yeah.
it was like survival of the fittest out
Yeah,
there.
we would send the bend. We said, you know,
Wow.
send a bender, and
Oh.
you know, and that's fine, right? But why was I doing that in the first place? Like my
There's another reason.
drinking started earlier, obviously, and
But then
know,
you had a fun excuse to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I didn't have like the greatest childhood. I was bullied a lot. I was picked on.
You were?
Yeah, I know.
Look how broad he is. I'd be
know.
like, boom, it's over.
Yeah, that's a result of bullying. Like you
Oh,
spend a lot of,
gotcha.
yeah, right. You
Built
spend
yourself up.
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I never felt great about myself.
I'm
you know, I always
sorry.
have that like body image issues, and I was chubby and overweight.
Well, you're
and
pretty
then,
awesome now, so.
Well, thank you. I
Look at him.
appreciate that,
I want to just give him a hug again.
But, you know, like, I dealt with that my whole life. I never felt comfortable in my own skin. Still don't, really, you know? And, you know, that translated into, you know, not loving myself. And
Right.
self-esteem issues. And the whole, and drinking was a way to fit in. And, you know, so that's everybody's
And the
story,
liquid
right?
courage,
It was my way to
too.
fit in, you know? I felt
Yeah.
normal. And so anyway, that... Fast forward to the outdoor recreation. It's scary. I died in 1997 on the river. I drowned.
What?
Kayaking.
Oh my God.
Did you have a NDE?
No. I wish.
Yeah, because they say
was
it's
really
pretty
black.
cool.
It was just black.
Okay, because they say that is really cool.
Yeah, I wish I got that bonus, but I didn't.
Okay.
I got pinned on a tree, and I was under the water for a couple minutes.
Oh my God.
And that's, you know, unfortunately, a few years down the road started causing me PTSD, which I didn't even know what that was. I
Right.
didn't know what was going on in my brain. I would compensate with drugs and alcohol to kind of
Gotcha.
numb that out. I would get like these crazy panic attacks when I was going down certain stretches of
Yeah.
river. Like,
Oh, wow.
So this all stacks up, and then you know you get married, you have a kid, you have a family, you're grinding work, you're just nonstop going. I was running, you know, big companies. I also started All Mountain Sports, All Mountain Transportation.
Oh.
Yeah, we were in this building.
Yeah.
You know, so I had, you know, lots of pressure and
Yeah,
you know,
I
lots
can
of
imagine.
responsibility managing you know, lots of people. And then with Sage was 105 people that I was running, you know.
Oh, my
I
gosh.
was the CEO of Sage. I helped start Sage in 2009 and with like me and 4 other people, and then we grew it to 105 people.
That's
you know,
amazing. Well, congratulations on that. That's pretty huge.
Tons of pressure,
Yeah.
tons
Well,
of stuff.
and then you have kids at home and a wife and all the demanding things that come
Yeah.
along with it.
yeah.
So you escaped.
And I'm breaking my body the whole time.
Oh.
The job is very demanding. I mean, I've got fake knees. I've had both my eyes redone. I've had retinal these are fake lenses in my eyes.
Really?
I've
Did you
got,
have the lightning bolts? Is that what
flo-
happened?
Floater.
Yeah,
my,
the
my retina's
floaters?
detached is what
That's
happened.
what I heard when you see lightning bolts
Yeah.
or floating little.
I went blind. I just went
God.
blind.
Damn.
So, I know. So right, like this all adds up. I've dislocated my shoulders, broke my ribs, fractured my spine twice.
How'd you do that?
Horses.
Oh.
Yeah, skiing the
ouch.
first time, horse the second.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean,
But you jump right back up, huh?
I tell you, you know, self-medicating for the pain.
Okay.
You know, with drugs and alcohol, right? So this all adds up over time. You know, when you're 18, 20, 30, your body can, and your brain isn't messed up. And I had a lot of concussions. I've got some damage in my frontal lobe.
Okay.
That the Mayo Clinic found last year.
You should go to Amazing Brains with Ruth Rizzo.
Yeah, I don't know if they can fix this. And
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
They
pretty-
detect stuff and work it out. It's
Well,
really cool.
Yeah, maybe I should.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, you know, the drinking progressively got worse.
Okay.
The drugs progressively got worse.
Right.
The brain wasn't working very good. isolating and internalizing all this pain, and I wasn't speaking to anybody. I was embarrassed. I was, full of guilt and shame, and
Oh, sure.
you just until you implode.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly. What was your imploding point?
Well, in 2015, actually right around now, almost 10 years ago, my business partner and like best friend got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. His name was Phil, and got diagnosed in November, and and I went to his house every day, right?
Yeah.
The guy didn't leave the bed. And
So then you had
and-
this on top of everything else.
And I was drinking every day at his house, watching him die.
Oh,
right?
wow.
And
That's
I-
horrible.
And I did that every day from like November 20th-ish to January 2nd. And I mean, I destroyed
run.
my body while he was dying.
Absolutely.
Even watching
And-
somebody die didn't wake you up to think, let me
Well-
not do this to myself. Look what's happening to him.
Yeah, I mean, that was my way of kind of numbing out what was
Okay.
going on, just watching him die. I couldn't
No
do it.
rational thoughts were going on
I
at
was
that
just,
point.
I would go there and hang out and drink what myself silly, and because he wasn't talking, he was just laying there and
That's
just
hard.
not moving. But I wanted to be there.
Yeah.
And then he died on January 2nd, 2016, and I had to dress him, and they sent one person with the hearse. I had to carry him into the hearse. Like, it was horrible. It was a horrible experience.
That's traumatic.
And that was kind of my wake-up call. Like, I was like, okay, well, I can't drink now. I don't have an excuse. Phil's gone. And that was kind of where I started diving into sobriety a little bit in January 2nd, 2016. And I had really long runs of sobriety, but I wasn't, like, joyful. I was abstinent. I wasn't in
Is that what they call
recovery.
dry drunk?
Yeah, I was dry drunk.
Right.
Exactly. Right. I was just forcing myself not to drink, and then I'd have a relapse, and and that would be a bad one or whatever. Something bad would happen, and I would just go right back to it. And so that went on for like, 4 years.
Wow.
And then June 25th, 2020, I got called out on a rescue on the river, and I had to do a really bad rescue. It was not fun. And it was a bunch of people, and it was a really dangerous situation where I had to we call it live bait, where they just hook you in and you jump out and you swim out to them and you grab them, and then you swim back to the shore with them. And I had to do that like 8 times, and I was exhausted, and I had this like medication that slows my heart rate down. So after I started going into PTSD, as soon as that rescue ended.
Wow. Were they alive?
They were alive.
Okay.
Yeah, we got them all back. Yeah, it was.
At least you had that going for you.
There was some little kids. There was grandma, grandpa. It was horrible.
That is traumatic.
Yeah, when I think about it, it still kind of like freaks me
Sure.
out. That day was bad, and I don't know how much of my medication I took, but I took a ton, and it slowed my heart down, and I passed out in my car, got a DUI, ended up having to do community. Well, I have to do community service. The whole 9 yards, right? You get a DUI, you got to do all this.
So
stuff.
do you think you overdosed?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Yeah.
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 I don't know why
Yeah.
that was a lame question, but I'm like,
Yeah, no, I was just shoveling those things down. I was in PTSD mode, which is a
so
really.
you didn't realize you were like.
It's a bizarre feeling.
I
I've
know
had it a
I know
couple
it, so,
times
yeah.
where you just go black and I
Yep.
start shaking and convulsing. Anyway, the DUI was one of the best things that ever happened to me, simply because of the community service
And the
aspect.
programs.
Yeah. So I did all that stuff, and in community service, I met this person. Her name's Trish Esperone. She's a therapist, and she
Nice.
ran the community service in I think it was the Salvation Army over in Avon when it was
Oh.
there, and she did horticultural therapy there in the greenhouse and
Oh,
all this
wow.
stuff, right? So
I love that.
she wasn't a therapist. She was just somebody she wasn't my therapist. She was just a friend, and helped me get through that. And she, got rid of some of my shame and guilt for what I was dealing with, and just kind of helped me get on. And she exposed me to just helping others, doing stuff bigger than yourself.
I love that.
Yeah, it was eye-opening for me. This is, it was just a big thing. And then she and I actually started a nonprofit as well that kind of failed, but we gave it a go,
Okay.
right? We got pretty far, and it was going to be something similar to like mental health and horticultural therapy and a restaurant that, that the developmentally disabled could work at.
Oh,
and
wow.
Pay as you go, kind of pay what you can kind
I
of
wonder
a
why
thing.
that didn't take.
We needed a few $1 million.
Oh,
and we didn't
that
quite
could be
get
depressing
there.
right there.
We did get we did really well, right? And we had everything lined out.
Love the idea.
Yeah, it was great.
It's better than a cat cafe.
Yeah, but through that process of starting that nonprofit and just, being around that world, I got exposed to Speak Up, Reach Out, Bright
Nice.
Futures, and My Future Pathways, and all these cool nonprofits that are out there that help the community. And Trish was like, you should help guys, you should do it like, work with, here's a guy, this guy could talk to him, right? And it started off just like one-offs, right?
Right.
And then Speak Up, Reach Out at an event I was at said, you'd be a good peer support guy. And that's where the men's group came from. And then Rob Sheeran, who started Reconnected, was, looking for peer leads and peer specialists. And that's how I got over there. So that's kind of the journey.
Yeah, that's a long journey.
I almost cried. I held it back. I did pretty good.
I was ready.
I
was ready.
Just reliving the addiction part actually doesn't make me cry. It's the
why.
The recovery part.
Yeah.
Is like, realizing that moment
What happened?
where you made that paradigm shift in your life.
But it's
so
empowering at the
Yeah.
same time. Isn't there some sort of getting the goosies again?
Yeah.
Isn't there this empowerment feeling that you've look, we've all battled with something, and you get a little hurdle up, then you're like, well,
Yeah.
I go backwards and a little bit. But when you finally get over that, and you feel like, I think I'm really there.
Well, I don't ever feel like I'm really
don't?
there. Like,
But that might be safe for you.
Yeah. I always like,
know?
it's always like the demons are there,
Well,
they're
the thing
in
is,
me.
but you can exorcise those
Yes.
demons
Yes.
by looking into so many things. Like you said, the
Yeah.
horticulture therapy, doing something. I hope so bad that you now have self-love.
Yeah, I do.
Ah.
I know. I'm always a little hesitant, right?
I have a love-hate relationship with myself.
There's good days and there's bad days,
Yeah,
right? There's
no
some days
kidding.
I'm like, you're a sexy little beast, aren't you? And then there's and then there's other days like I hate myself, right?
Yeah.
And that's everybody, right? You're gonna have
No,
good days
it's
and
not
bad
everybody though. There's a lot of people that just love themselves.
Well, that's true too, right?
Like, how do you do that?
Yeah, I know. But so there's just every day is a new adventure. I don't know
And
what
that's
I'm waking
great.
up to, but more and more, yes, I do love myself more, and I love
love
other
that.
people, and I'm able to accept being loved.
That's
you know?
beautiful.
Important thing.
Yes.
Right
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
it's hard. Believe me, I've got a lot of work to do.
But
Yeah.
there's nothing
We
wrong
all.
with
Yeah.
and there's really nothing wrong with acknowledging the fact that that it's a challenge every day, but it's a positive challenge, and it's something that you can do, and you just think just by looking into some of those demons in the darkness.
Yeah.
If you can find a certain outlet in which to talk about them and work through them and things like that. Like my childhood sucked.
Yeah.
So I did some EMDR, and I have to say, it went from here
Yes.
back to here. And, and I've had a lot of trauma aside from young age to adult and all the other vulnerable ages that you are when something happens to you.
Sure.
I've had to deal with. So I've had a couple of EMDRs, but it changes the way your behavior, your automatic behavior response to something. I don't know why, because it's weird when they do it. But to be honest with you, I don't know why it works, but it just does. So there's always something or some way you can reach out. And I see you told me you go to the gym how many times a
Well,
week?
I mean, I go as much as I can, but that's the beauty of being an addict, and coming out of it is that the people that you're surrounded with, in these programs and whatnot, they're like they know how bad it can be. right?
Right.
They've been at the worst place in their lives. And now they're like, how can I be better? Like if I didn't have all this trauma in my life, I don't think I'd be as great as I am today.
I love that. I
right?
love that because sometimes people who are traumatized are the most sensitive and you become empathic. You just do.
I cry a lot more.
Yeah. But there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I know, and that's the
have you ever
thing.
walked by a person and just getting a vibration from them that
yeah.
there's something up? That's because you have high sensitive empathy. We all have it. And sometimes it's a blessing and sometimes it's a curse, I have to say, because like I get wrapped up in somebody else's something and I'm like a balled up mess. Like, I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta come out of this.
The good thing for me is like I am a big guy, I get that, right?
But
And
you're a big love.
I think when people first meet me and they're like,
Really?
yeah.
I felt like a big love when I
good.
saw you,
I'm
like
glad
a
you
big
felt
teddy
that.
bear. I ran right up to you
I've
and
been
hugged
called
you.
a thug a lot, Maybe it's just like built up in my mind, but I think when they see a big guy that's that does manly stuff, and then he can be bawling in front of a group of people, they're like, oh man, okay, it's okay. Like another guy see that and they kind of open up.
Absolutely.
And so it's okay. And I don't think guys should be running around crying and doing all this. Most guys just need to open up once in a while.
Let me tell you something.
You
My
know?
husband has cried in front of me a few times, whether it's a movie or a funeral, whatever. And it made my heart grow so much more fond of him, because it's like you don't have to be this masculine logger all the time. I don't know where that came from.
Right.
But you know what I mean? You can have balance as a man, as a woman, as whatever you decide you are. There's balance in your emotions. And I feel like when you do have that, then it makes you more of a whole person.
Yes.
And able to relate to people better.
In my men's groups,
I want to hear about that.
Yeah, quite often, like there are tears shed. Aww. But the nice thing is, it's guys talking about guys stuff and what guys are dealing with, and it's a safe environment because it's just a bunch of dudes, right?
Hey, for Jen's purpose alone, is it a great place to meet somebody?
Not before the meeting, but after. Yeah, they're healed. I've found the cure. So,
I'm telling you, men's group is where it's at. Forget the produce aisle at City Market. We're going to the men's groups.
So so we just talk and we work through stuff, and they find out that they're not the only ones dealing with this. And like, I've been there. I totally get it, and it's a beautiful thing. So I'm glad I started these. I don't think there's any others. I think it's just my two that I do, and honestly, it's probably enough right now because they're not filled. I'm not packing huge arenas.
Yeah, but what if you wanted to get more people? Like if there's men watching right now and they're like, my God, this sounds like something I'd be so interested in. How did they reach out to you to get involved in the men's groups?
Well, I mean, you could go on our websites at Reconnected or Speak Up, Reach Out, or they can, contact me directly. And I do one-on-one, coaching, especially with recovery, right?
Really?
That's a big part of Reconnected is we offer one-on-one peer support.
Now, this...
free as well.
I was going to say like a volunteer position, but you said free. It's easier that way. Okay. So that's amazing, because a lot of people think that they're lost and, they don't have insurance or they think that something like this is going to come out of their pocket and they don't have that pocket right now. Well, probably because they spent it all on their addiction.
So if somebody's thinking about getting sober right now and they called Reconnected, right? We're going to set them up with, maybe myself or one of our other peer leads, and we can meet with them weekly. We can meet with them as much as they need to in the beginning, and we try to set that foundation for them and help them work. It's an alternative to Alcoholics Anonymous or some of the other programs, and they could do that in addition too if they want.
Sure, why not?
Why not? Exactly.
Have discussions that you like, and then get out there in nature, which is super healing as well.
Well, that's the beauty of it. So we'll like I'm working with. I have a caseload of 15 people maybe-ish right now. It's just not huge, but it's a
busy caseload still.
It's pretty busy, and I meet with these people. Some of them I meet weekly, some of them I meet bi-weekly, monthly, whatever it is. But in the beginning, I try to get a lot of frequency, and then in the second month a little bit less, third month a little bit less, and then free and just call me when you need.
So I like that.
Bird out of the nest.
Yes,
I love it.
that's
I was
right.
just thinking the same analogy. I was thinking of the lady with the hawk going,
Yeah.
okay, I've raised you,
Yeah.
now go.
Yes.
So, but that's beautiful. You don't want, you don't want
I'm
a
trying to
turnover.
fix people, right.
Right. And let me ask you something. What sort of healing do you feel that your helping others has given to you?
Well, that's like the biggest thing for a person in recovery is to help another person recover. I mean, that's like,
What does that do for you?
oh, it's invigorating. It's the most joy that you can get, and just like, and there's a lot of failures too, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of failures, but it's that one that succeeds.
You have to fail to
that-
succeed.
Yeah. So
Sometimes.
it's best part of my job.
I love that. Now, if anybody else was interested in doing what you do,
Sure.
is there a way for them to maybe look into it? Because I think that there's a lot of people out there. Jen and I chose to do this Chatbox
Mm-hmm.
because we needed a way to give back, because we are those people
Mm-hmm.
like you who've been through it. And
So there's courses
wanted
out
to-
there you could
yeah,
take,
there
for
are?
peer support specialists. There's
is that what
there's-
it's called, a peer support specialist?
Yeah, so that it's not, you're not a therapist.
Right.
The thing about peer support is you have to have the lived experience, right?
That's what I
So,
believe, too.
I mean, I got suicidal, many times.
You
know.
did?
Oh yeah, that's why I'm at Speak Up, Reach Out.
Well, I wanted to ask you, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to dive too deep.
Yeah, no, I definitely.
When
I think,
did that
I think,
happen?
Well, I think June 25th was
Okay.
maybe an attempt. I
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh, with the
You know,
medicine that slowed your
and-
heart.
Yeah, and there was times when I would run rivers and kind of go into that rapid that might be a class
Might
6.
take you.
Yeah, and I was hoping.
Wow. Is
like-
that considered a ideation? I forget.
Yeah.
Ideation, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's like you'll put yourself in dangerous positions, and you're just kind of hoping. Like, I always thought that if I died that way, it would be cool.
Well,
like,
it would
'cause
be,
he
I
didn't
guess.
really kill himself. He was doing
Better than getting hit by a
but-
Mack truck, but
or
still.
putting a gun in your mouth,
Oof,
and
yikes.
which I've thought about doing multiple
really?
times. Oh yeah,
Even with the
Yeah.
mess.
Even with the mess.
mess?
Oh yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have to clean it up.
Yeah, but the people that love you.
Oh
would.
yeah. No, the void that you leave is
Massive.
It's massive, yeah, and it's a selfish thing. It really is.
But
to
it's
some
not
degree.
always, because the reason for that, the reason why I'm going to say it's not a selfish thing is because there's sometimes people that are just so in that space
Yeah.
and they're not thinking about, oh, what's Johnny going to do without me? They're
Yeah.
not thinking that. So
No.
it's not a selfish act.
Well,
They're,
they actually think it's a benefit. Like
maybe,
I'm a burden,
right? And they might want
Yeah.
that pain to end
Yeah.
so hard that the only thing they
Yeah.
can think about is just.
There was many times I thought the world would be a better place without
Oh,
me.
it would not. I can tell you now after
Thank
knowing you. No way.
Yeah.
I think it's sometimes. My thing is, first of all, I'm scared of death.
Yeah.
So that's a good way to stop
Yes.
never thinking about doing it.
Yeah.
But do you know how many times I lay down, I'm like, I wish I just don't wake up.
Yeah.
And now that's an ideation, but yet I would never do a physical act of doing it, because then I'd know I don't know
Yeah.
where I'm going yet.
Yeah.
And that's not good for me. I need to know what's up. So, but
I have a question about Speak Up, Reach Out. So,
Yeah.
like, how does that program work? I understand Reconnected, you do fun events, like that kind of thing. But
Mm-hmm.
for people who are contemplating suicide or wanting to get involved with the Speak Up, Reach
Yeah.
Out,
Great question.
specifically, like how does that work?
So, I mean, they offer a lot of training around the Valley, in regard to like workplace and how to identify it and how to speak to somebody that you might be thinking is contemplating suicide, right? So they offer a lot of education,
Yeah.
which is great. And then they have a ton of peer support groups, right? It's not just, I've the men's group, there's several grief support groups.
Yeah.
There's chronic pain, chronic illness. There's like a group for people in the first responders. There's
Oh,
all
wow.
these different groups, these support groups that they offer, and they're all free as well. And so if you go on their website, you can see when they're offering these groups and, throughout the month. And so that's a great way. And, if somebody's interested in being a peer lead and leading a group based on whatever, whatever they want to talk about, like you just contact them and say, I want to do a group for this, right? And if it's not something that they're currently offering, then even if it's something they're currently offering, it might be a second version of it, right? And so they're just offering more. So it's just worth reaching out to them.
So
and
much.
with Reconnected, if you wanted to run...
Or like art therapy, somebody that does that,
Yes,
they can call there and say, would you like a peer leader for some art therapy?
We have ambassadors, what we call ambassadors. So anybody that wants to get involved with the program and maybe lead something or, help with our events and stuff like that, you just give us a call and become an ambassador.
Amazing.
And that's like a volunteer position. When you get into the peer support stuff like I do, that's paid. So we don't need a ton of, more staff.
But volunteers.
But there's tons of opportunities like that. And if you're in recovery and you're looking to like fill some time and get that, that free joy.
Yeah. And now, is this something good for people who feel isolated, especially around the holidays? There's so much sadness around
this
the
is
holidays.
what we call the Bermuda Triangle of addiction, right?
And
tell me more. What does that mean?
Well, you have Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
so this is this is one.
Don't forget Valentine's Day. That's the day you just want to like jump off a boat or something.
Just like apocalypse now, and so it's so this is a really stressful time, and actually the last few meetings that I've led or hosted. That's what we're talking about. This is my first sober Thanksgiving. This is going to be my first sober Christmas.
Wow.
And, what am I going to do on New Year's, And,
I stay home and watch movies.
Yeah. So there's a lot of firsts that happen around this time of the year and people are struggling. So, this is really important. Like if you're thinking about.
Wow. That's a trifecta right there.
It really
seriously.
It's bad. Yeah.
So are you guys doing anything special for people that might be looking for an outlet so they don't get depressed around this time?
So we did a Friendsgiving and of course, and then we'll have a Christmas thing, and we do have a New Year's celebration.
Nice.
Everything's sober, and we'll have food and mocktails and things of that nature.
Be sure to let us know. We will promote it for you.
Okay, it'd be great. But we do all, and we'll have a Valentine's Day something or other, and we'll do all that.
Jen and I have been thinking about doing some kind of single mingle,
like
a match game or something.
We do that as well.
Really? Maybe we should do something with them.
That would be fun.
Yeah, we do single events, and
a
lot of sober singles.
I want to do a match game or like a dating game.
Yeah.
That would be so fun.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of what we do. Like if somebody says I have an idea and they want to do it, like we're nimble enough to where we could throw that together pretty quick.
Yeah. Oh my God, we're nimble.
Yeah.
What's nimble mean? Is that like flexible?
We're able to move quickly.
Flexible. Okay,
Yes.
I was there.
Yeah. So it's definitely what we're offering is just tons of great
This is like amazing, and I can't believe it's been 2 years and I have not heard about that.
Well,
the Reconnected Foundation. So if you feel like you're part of the Disconnected Foundation, you can become the Reconnected Foundation. And it's not just for people that are in recovery or wanting to become sober, but it's for people maybe that have been sober for years, or maybe you're going through some emotional issues. I mean, there's anxiety, there's depression, there's so many mental health issues that we are not even aware of that people are going through, and there's self-loathing is one of them.
And that eating disorder group too. I don't think there's any others that I'm aware of going on, so that might be the only one in the Valley, and I think that's really important. I feel like I've probably had an eating disorder in some, like right now all I eat is just like pounds of meat, and protein.
Oh, you're a protein guy.
Yeah, and I think that might be a disorder.
Well, the truth is you always can overdo anything, I mean, in moderation is okay if you want to be on a protein diet, but you gotta add a little lettuce in there or something,
I eat
lettuce entertain you.
But for years, like with that body dysmorphia,
sure.
I'm, starving myself and then binging. It's just.
You're so beautiful. Don't do that ever again.
Okay.
I'm not joking.
I'll do my best.
We had Dave Donahue over here, and we touched on some eating disorder issues at the time. And God, he'd make a great coach for something like that with them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
I know I'm thinking
Yeah.
of things for everybody, but that's what we do when we're traumatized.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to thank you so much for opening up and being
Thank you.
so candid and raw with us, because it is hard. There are things that have happened to me in my life I still can't talk about, and
Yeah.
I'm way over halfway dead.
If I
already.
wasn't on camera, we can dive really
We
deep.
can have
and
a
I'll-
pizza sob fest.
It does
I'll be
change it,
using this
doesn't it?
box of tissues.
Aw.
But I think I did well,
I think you did
composure-wise.
amazing.
Absolutely.
Jen, I know you have a couple of things to add.
Oh no, I love everything that you were talking about. I think both communities are super important, and I love the way that they connect as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that just from a awareness standpoint, like I hope our community knows that these exist, because it's such a safe space. It's such a great place to come and meet
Yeah.
people, especially if you're feeling lonely, if you don't know where to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you need community, and it's that's always been what we've been about, is creating community and
That's
finding
right.
safe spaces.
Yeah.
And so both Speak Up, Reach Out is a fantastic one, and Reconnected is just amazing and fun. And
Good people. I mean, that's the
Yes,
beauty of
that's
it's
exactly
so
right.
diverse, and everybody there is just trying to grow and become better and
Absolutely.
improve themselves, and it's a beautiful thing
which
to
is
see.
rare, I'd like
It's
to add.
very rare. It's very rare, and especially in this town. Like
Yeah,
I was
there's-
so stuck in that.
I was
that
just gonna say
just being-
stuck.
It's the name of my group is called Stuck in a Rut.
Oh, I
Oh
love it.
my
So,
God.
and that's the way I felt. Like I was just going through life
Yep.
and not really. And I got my curiosity back and my learning
Oh,
and just
nice. And all your senses are aware.
Yeah.
And you know what else is really cool? We are here. We are alive. We have conquered ourselves. We have gotten past all the crap we've put ourselves through or other people have put us through. And we're living proof that you can persevere over anything. And
Right.
even if you fall, it's how you get back up that matters.
That's right.
And the way you take care of yourself reflects on how you take care of everybody else.
Mm-hmm. And
And when you want to have a life, and this is all we got, guys, that I'm aware of, that's why I'm afraid to die. But why just go through the motions and just exist? And then you go to bed and you wake up and there it goes again.
Yeah.
To embrace every day with a little bit of joy and to examine the beautiful world we have around us. Like when I drive, I don't just try and get where I'm going. I look. I appreciate the prettiness.
Yeah.
Except for when it's snowing and I get hallucinating, then I'm like freaking out. But when it's beautiful and pretty, no matter what the season is, I will always embrace
Yeah.
my surroundings, because gratitude in my world rather, is the one thing that has kept me ticking.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And speaking of gratitude, I'm so grateful for you being my friend forever and you being my new friend and being so wonderful and brave and
Thank you.
coming on. Do you have anything you would like to maybe throw out as a word of
No, just just hang in there. Take it one day at a time. Know there's if you want support, there is support there. I mean, it's just a phone call away. I mean, there are other people that are struggling. You're not alone.
big time?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Big time.
And the journey is a blessing. I think when it's scary at first, but the more that you're surrounded by people who are on a similar journey
Yeah.
and working on themselves, with that similar goal of working on themselves, like, to your point about climbing mountains, like, it's not just a one and done, like
Yeah.
it's a forever thing. There's always,
It's an obstacle course.
And for anybody
Something
that's
working.
considering like they're addicted, they're drinking too much, they're using drugs, they're smoking too much weed, whatever it is, they can't picture a life without it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
They can't figure what is their identity without it. How are they going to ever have fun again? How are they going to
Yeah.
I
Who
need
am
this.
I
Yeah,
without this?
right?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
it exists.
But
It
when
exists,
you
and it's beautiful. Yeah.
and because on the other side of that,
Yeah.
when you are organically experiencing your day to day, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It is.
And when
Yeah.
you don't wake up feeling like you want to barf all over the place first, and then
Yeah.
try and get ready to do something, you wake up and there's a new fresh.
Well, and it's real
feeling.
and it's authentic.
That's
and it's,
right, yes.
It's numbing or this false thing that you're creating
Right.
through alcohol or drugs or something.
Exactly.
Like that,
And I mean, I feel like sometimes when I turn on the news, I just want to go numb.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realize, oh wait, I could turn on something else. And I literally was feeling so low the other day. I watched Mary Poppins. Hello, that was so much fun.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
really depressed.
I'm a Willy Wonka guy.
Oh, I love Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
But see, there's chocolate in
I
that.
know,
And
that's why I'm a Willy Wonka
then I'm
guy.
sitting there like watching Willy Wonka, eating all the chocolate I can get my hands on. But the truth is, when you watch something that lifts your spirits, like Willy Wonka or The Grinch, well, I know it's not always spirit lifting, but I love Jim Carrey and The Grinch That Stole
Yes.
Christmas. It's just so fun.
Whatever lifts your heart.
Yes.
All these kind of things, instead of doom scrolling on the internet or doom TV news watching, click it over. Oh, now you know how old I am. I just turned the channel.
You should walk over to it.
Go on up. I did. That was my dad's
Okay.
remote control.
Okay.
Hey, come in here. What do you want, Dad?
Yeah.
Put it on 7. I'm like, okay. So yeah, that was exciting. But listen, I can't thank you enough for being here.
you.
I know, Jen, you're grateful.
Yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity.
This was just such a beautiful conversation. This is Joe Tomasic, everybody. And you are from, first of all, Speak Up, Reach Out, Suro. And what's the website for that?
speakupreachout.org.
Well, that was easy.
Pretty sure.
And then Reconnected Foundation.
Which is just reconnected.org.
Reconnected.org. I'm super stoked about that because I think that's something that a lot of people might not have even known about because I did not know, and it's just
we're
a couple
new.
years in.
Yeah.
But guess what, you guys? It's not going to cost you anything to go enjoy yourselves, get out with the great outdoors, not feel alone or isolated, and enjoy the holidays because you get to go out and do fun things with this guy right here.
That's right.
I think it's a
Connected
beautiful
also
thing.
has an app. It's a group me app.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
Has a
right.
calendar of
Yeah,
events that they-
yes, we have a social media thing that will feed you what's going on, and people
on
can
it.
connect on it.
Wow, I have to get on
And,
that.
Yeah, and just on our website has a great calendar of events, and if anybody is struggling too, we have a referral, link on that website.
Nice.
Like if you wanted to refer somebody, but make sure they know they're getting referred.
Oh.
We don't want to surprise them.
Right, yeah.
so,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, have that
Hi, we're
conversation.
calling from Reconnected Foundation.
What?
Excuse me?
I have a problem?
Nobody told me I had a problem.
Yeah.
A lot of us start that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
without a doubt. But being self-aware and taking care of yourself, Reconnected Foundation is a great way to do it. And if you feel like you're struggling at all, please reach out to Suro Suicide Prevention because it's all wrapped together, especially coming around the holidays. Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you.
We love you.
Thanks.
Yay! All right, everybody. We hope that you enjoyed this episode of the Chatbox Vail coming to you from High Five Access Media. We can be viewed on Thursdays between 6 and 7 on Comcast Channel 5. You can also see us on YouTube, as well as High Five Access Media's website. All the greatest things take place right here, and we will be back again next week with another beautiful soul. But you are just amazing. Thank you. Joe
you.
Tomasic, everybody. That was the Chatbox Vail, everyone. Woohoo! Dunsville.
All right.